Ultimate Football Fan is now here. All the biggest fan channels in one place.
Flex Night Stand.
100% Chelsea.
Arsenal Fan TV.
All about the fans.
Why is he on the fucking pitch for? For what?
Exclusive content only here.
Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to
The UFF Daily Football Show.
The number one source, everything going on in the football world, daily.
UFF. Do what you have to do.
Hello and welcome to FanPark Live Head to Head. I'm joined tonight by Adam and Chris. They're here, they're going to do battle in a head-to-head challenge tonight in association with history. For me, it's the big one. It's the two leading lights of football that when you grow up, everyone knows these two men. You have Pele and you have Maradona. Tonight we're going head-to-head in a big debate. Basically, we're going to debate and see who the best is. The best, the greatest of all time. Many people want to turn around and say, certainly until recent times when Ronaldo and Messi come along, these were always the two that were up there in this debate. So, Chris, let everyone know who you're taking care of tonight.
I'm looking after the greatest Brazilian to ever play the game, Pele.
Pele, leaving you with who?
Maradona. Love that.
Love that.
Maradona.
There we go.
Hand of God.
Absolutely. So we're going to be taking a look at a number of factors in this. We're going to look at their club careers and their internationals. We're going to look at the goals they have scored, the assists and chances they have created, the influence that they have had on the game, both on the pitch in terms of the legacy that they have left off the pitch, and then just anything else these gentlemen want to throw in to prove why their man is simply the greatest ever. Of course, we want your calls on 0203 606 0315. We want to know what you think about these two individuals at the same time. And also check out history's hashtag of history of football. Starting on Monday the 28th, just gone, literally 24 hours a day. Films, documentaries, debate shows, right up until the start of the World Cup. History are going crazy for football, so go and check out their channel, whether you have Sky, Virgin, Freeview. All the information for that is in our description below. Gentlemen, who's going first tonight?
I tend to go first all the time, so this time I'm going to let my guy cook.
So you can go first with Maradona here. By the way, we might be breaking out of the show if Drake gives his reply to this.
Yeah. Football's going up.
Football's going to go. If Drake replies when we're on the air, I don't know much about this. I listen to Michael Bublé, but I've heard if Drake replies, we have to drop this and we're going to go into that.
I heard Michael Bublé's got a diss record coming out, to be fair.
Him
and Ollie Murs.
Look, Ollie Murs is great. He ain't on the level of Bublé. That is a proper crooner. But Adam, I'm going to go to you first. I need you to talk to me about Maradona.
Yeah.
His goals.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Listen, all I have to say is that Diego Maradona is the game of football. I remember when I spoke about Sir Alex Ferguson, I was saying that he's the godfather of the game, and Diego Maradona is in that same light, that same ilk. Everybody knows the game through Diego Maradona. Everyone knows the hand of God. He's got iconic moments in the game that we can all reference.
Iconic moments cheating.
I mean, we can talk about cheating. We can call it what we want. But the fact is, Diego Maradona is a beacon in football.
How many goals he scored at major tournaments? The World Cups, I'll say. How many goals?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good enough for a beacon of football?
Yeah, I think so. Especially when you compare that, I think Pele only got like 12. I think realistically, his career even spanned a bit longer as well. Realistically, to get 4 goals less in a team that was worse, I don't think is that bad. But anyway, for me, I think Maradona, because he played in a team, as I said, that was far worse than Pele ever played in.
You're making it sound like the Argentina side was poor, though. He wasn't playing for Northern Ireland.
For everything that I've read, because listen, that's all I have to go off. I wasn't alive those times. Everything that I've read has said that Maradona literally dragged the team single-handedly to the World Cup final. Everything I've read about Pele states that he played in a good team, he had good players, and he was the sum of a good team. Whereas Diego Maradona was the, as I said, beacon, the shining light.
Good. How about yourself? You can either rebuttal that or you can tell us why, from a goals point of view to start with.
Goals.
We'll start with goals, like we said. This man didn't really want to touch on the goals because he wanted to ignore that fact for some reason. Okay. So the goals of Pele.
Ignore the goals.
You ignored the goals. You ignored the goals.
Okay, well, Maradona's never ever come close to touching the goal record that Pele has. I mean, there's some there's a bit of conversation around like the authenticity of
Okay.
that number.
We're gonna get there. Don't worry.
But even then, I would say that Maradona doesn't even have half of the legitimate goals that Pele has anyway.
Yeah.
And even if you're to look at because for me, it's all good talking about he's only 4 goals behind him. Let's have a look at the amount of minutes that's been played. Let's have a look at the amount of minutes per goal. And then you'd see that there's probably double the amount of minutes played on Maradona's side per goal. I think it's 240 minutes per game.
Yep.
Per goal, sorry. And there's about just over 100 minutes per goal for Pele.
105 for Pele. Can we put that graphic up on the screen, Jay?
Yeah, let's do that.
So, like, for me,
the goals.
I don't even feel like I need to say that much goals-wise. The quality of the goals across, from different continental competitions to international competitions to domestic competitions over in Brazil. When you think about just great goal scorers in the history of football, obviously in recent memory we think about Messi, we think about Cristiano Ronaldo, but even those guys haven't scored to this date so far the amount of goals that Pele has. So it's a non-contest at the moment. Pele is just like comfortably the better goal scorer than Maradona.
Okay.
I think it's even unfair to compare them in terms of goals.
You're right, it is unfair because many of Pele's goals were scored in a flipping state and these dead championships that are played at a local level.
Can I rebuttal when you finish that?
Of course you can say, oh yeah, he scored all these fantastic goals and he hit such a high number. But if you're playing in a league, in an area,
I have a rebuttal.
where,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, come with your rebuttal. But if you're playing in an area where the league and the competition, the standard is so much lower, of course you're going to score goals. Okay. You can put me in a park with 16-year-olds, I will score goals.
Okay, the Brazilian league,
Yakubu.
the Brazilian league between the late 1950s and the what I would say late 80s, late 70s wasn't the Brazilian league that we know now.
Okay.
Similarly, the European League back then isn't the European League that we know now. Santos were not only dominant in Brazil, they were dominant across the whole of South America, and they played a lot of international and intercontinental tournaments, like a lot, almost as if it was a regular club competition, and they smacked every single great European club side you can think about. And on top of that, the Brazil sides of that period also smacked every great European international side at the time as well. Any team with any legend of that period, Pele dismantled.
On a factual level, he played 195 games across friendlies and competitive tournaments.
His ratio against European teams was better than his ratio against South American.
So against European teams, he played 195 games and scored 204 goals. And this was teams that had players like Beckenbauer, Bobby Moore, Banks in them, like the greats of that era.
Are we accounting for the fact that he counts his goals in friendlies as well?
Yes.
Are we doing that?
Okay.
Because Maradona doesn't.
Okay.
So,
Well, hang on. So he did. The thing is, he scored over 1,000 goals, including friendlies. However, scored over 600 goals in competitive
even if
matches.
you were to literally half that number that he puts up, right? He's still comfortably ahead of Maradona. So really and truly, in terms of goals, this is the real reason why I say in terms of goals it's actually unfair. Because for me, they're both number 10s, but there isn't one kind of number 10 in my opinion. In my opinion, there's a number 10 of the midfielding variety. So
which is what Maradona was.
Which is what Maradona was, and there's Pele of the forward and attacking.
Exactly.
Which is what Pele is. So even if you want to put that into context and say, okay, well, Maradona scored a lot of goals for a number 10. Even that's not really the case. I'd argue, and I don't have the numbers for this, and if someone in the back wants to pull up those numbers, we can do it quickly. Someone like Michel Platini, that like in yesterday's debate, we were talking about Zidane versus Platini. I'd argue that Platini scored more goals as essentially a carbon copy of what Maradona is than Maradona was. Even if you took
then you're mad. Then you're.
Do you know that an interesting thing I was reading earlier about Pele?
Get on Maradona's goals, get on Platini's goals, and I'll tell you that.
So I've got Maradona's goals here already. Maradona scored in his club career 312 goals in 590 games. I will
just over 1 and 2, which is excellent.
Now.
Which is excellent, by the way.
It is very good. Absolutely. Let's get Platini.
That's sleeping. It's brilliant.
Just waiting for this. This is how you know we're live, ladies and gentlemen, because we didn't come prepared. But this is what we do. This is why live. 312 goals in 580 games. So Platini's goal scoring ratio is better.
And they're exactly the type of
also with Pele as well. Pele actually outdid Maradona in terms of assists as well. So not only
yeah, you're right. So but he played in a better team. This is what you're not understanding. You're both grossly.
No. I agree with.
Thank you, and you have no choice but to agree with it, but because he played in a grossly under like performing team.
Whoa.
Let's be real. Let's keep it 100%.
Who was grossly underperforming?
Who won the World Cup in 1978?
You tell me, bro.
Argentina won the World Cup in 1978, right at home, by the way.
That's brilliant.
versus that side.
Home advantage.
So,
Well done.
okay, cool. So, 4 years later, so by the way, Maradona was eligible to get into that side.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get into that side. Do you know what was happening 20 years prior?
Talk to me.
A 17-year-old Pele took his side to the
And you know,
to
yeah,
the World Cup,
that's
right?
good.
So,
what did he do in the World Cups after that?
He was injured.
Okay, so he didn't even play. Everyone's talking about him scoring these goals, winning 3 World Cups. A couple of times he
won 3 World Cups. So you got 58, you got 62,
Yeah.
and you got 70.
Yeah,
He was
and the only
instrumental-
one that he performed in was 70. But bar the one that you first talked about, so that one you can talk about him being a good goal scorer.
No,
but again,
he scored in 1958. I didn't know this. I'm reading this. He scored in 1958 World Cup. He scored
Googles, bro.
He scored 1, 2, 3, 4. He scored 6 goals at that World Cup
At the age of 17.
at 17.
and like I said,
Argentina
that
didn't
first
even
one
Argentina
is
didn't
good.
even bring Maradona to the World Cup in 1978. He didn't even make the squad. Fully for Maradona, he didn't even make the squad. Okay, so in terms of
Who knows why?
whether you want
Who
to
knows why? Maybe he.
but the
was
point is, if you want to talk about just the goals by itself,
Yep.
even account for the fact that one is a natural playmaker number
scorer,
10,
yeah.
and one is essentially a second striker, which is what Pele was. It doesn't, and even if you want to say, okay, he was surrounded by more talent, because he was over his career. Pele was surrounded by more talent,
good.
But
right?
that's-
But that does
yeah,
not
sorry.
account for almost double the amount of goals that Pele has
I
scored.
think it does.
over-
I think it does.
But also, don't you not think that's an even bigger achievement to stand out? And I made the point the other day, like when we did another one of these debates, when we did Giggs and Totti, I sometimes feel that if you're a very good player in an average team, I sometimes feel like you shine more, the team plays through you, they play to your strengths. Like we see Harry Kane a little bit, for instance, at Spurs, everything goes through him, he'll score more goals that way. I think when you're a very good, world-class player, surrounded by world-class players, you need to almost fight to be that main guy. You've got other people that are going to want to take their
mean, there's
stage
value-
away from
That's
you.
not more impressive than being,
I think it is.
It's not.
It's
not.
To be the big,
But it is
to
not.
be the big fish in a
It
giant
is
pond
not.
with other big fish is a bigger achievement.
Listen,
Terry,
He's
as
done
much,
it.
Terry,
That's
as much
true.
as I love you both. It's not.
It
if
is.
you put Messi in Stoke and Stoke win the Premier League,
Listen,
that's more impressive than Messi playing in Barcelona.
No, it's not. Do
And
you know
yes,
what? No,
oh,
not
come on.
in
Are we-
terms of
we're
winning
being
the
silly.
league.
We're
I'm
being
talking
really
about
silly.
I'm talking about bossing
We're
it.
being really
The thing is,
silly.
if you put 5 alphas in a room and you become King Alpha, that's an achievement. You put an alpha male in a room with 6-year-olds, that ain't an achievement. Being the boss of
It's
them.
two, listen, it's
That's
two different.
it.
Listen, it's two different kinds of like both points.
I'm
have
neutral,
value.
by the way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Hold on. Both points have value, and like I said, if we're talking more holistically in terms of what they've achieved, you could definitely look at not only what he done with a weak Argentinian squad over the course of his international career, more so of Napoli more than anything. However, I'm sorry, considering he scored almost. I don't know how many goals he made up. I don't know.
He
innit?
scored double.
Bruv, it's not about his scored double. Look how many goals he just picked out from.
Okay, but what
NBA.
I'm saying to you, the competitive games which you can't make those up. Those
And
are
who were
competitive
they
games.
against? You're telling me,
But you- but I'm
because
t- but I'm
they
t-
played because he
hold on,
played
hold
from
on.
against some.
Right, we've
team
got a
from Peru.
video. We've got a video
He has a
from Ryan
better
Giggs.
ratio. He has a
Gentlemen,
better ratio against European
Gentlemen,
sides than Brazilian
we've got a
sides.
video from Ryan Giggs to play talking about Diego
What does he know?
Maradona. What, Ryan Giggs?
What does he know?
Well,
I'm just-
he's backing you up here, so maybe let's get the video
He's
from
left
Ryan
footed. Of
Giggs.
course he's backing him. He's
We'll
left
be
footed.
back in a moment.
I didn't obviously play against him or see him when he was in his full flow, but I met him about 15 years ago. He comes to Manchester United training ground, and the first thing that strikes you is how small he is. I mean, tiny. And you're thinking, how can this man just command so much on a pitch and dribble and go past people at will? The ability, the balance that he had, and me being a left-footed player, he was someone who I, growing up, looked at. I wish I could do that. How does he do that? You know, and something that I would go out in the street and try and emulate. I didn't obviously.
Great words there from Giggsy. Backing yourself. We're going to move on to the honours, though. The trophies that they won as players. We know people love to talk about that when they're comparing the likes of Messi and Ronaldo. So let's look at it with these guys. We're going to have the graphics come up on the screens for you guys can see. We'll go to Maradona first. What did he win?
A World Cup.
What else did he win?
He won the league with Napoli, and I'd have to get my phone to be able to check the rest because I didn't get to write it all down on paper.
I mean, with
But go on.
I mean, with Pele, it's multiple titles at international level, World Cup and Copa America. Something that Maradona never managed to win, by the way. And Copa America is not harder to win than a World Cup. Multiple titles for Santos on an intercontinental level, Copa Libertadores, and obviously the Brazilian league. Now, again, let's not let's not just go with the narrative that yes, South America is a weaker league. As we've already established, South America had the biggest talent in that era, generally speaking. And even if you want to compare their record in Europe, as in like playing World Cups in Europe or against European opposition, whether it be club sides in tournaments or obviously the international sides, Maradona did his thing. Sorry, not Maradona, sorry, Pele did his thing and Santos did their thing. So just in terms of sheer volume, like Pele's the winner in terms of the titles won or the teams that he was a part of, and also the nature that he won them in. So
the nature that he won them in.
Brazil are like are top 3 sides of all time.
Iconic.
Okay, but
So, like,
Maradona
it's-
scored the greatest goal of the World Cup ever.
Okay, but
So what? Are we just gonna underplay it?
But you do that. No, we're not going to underplay it.
But it sounds
hold
like
on,
that's what you're doing,
Let's
Chris.
Let's not do the strawman argument thing. Let's actually argue what I'm saying.
Straw man.
Let's
let's do
argue
that.
what I'm saying.
This is some Drake stuff.
Hold on.
No, no,
you're
no.
you're
No, no,
talking.
no.
Hold on. You're talking about the manner in which someone is winning, the manner in which someone is playing, and yet I'm bringing you the fact that Maradona has, in the manner, scored the greatest goal of the World Cup ever.
Agreed, but that's not the debate. The debate is
So why are you bringing up style of play if that's not the debate?
because so who's
So why are you bringing up style
Okay,
of
let me ask
play?
you a simple question just to bring up the logic. Who's the greatest side of our current generation, in your opinion?
What do you mean?
The greatest side, club or international side of our generation that we grew up watching.
For me, it's Barcelona
Okay, why?
because Messi's really good.
That's
why-
that is
okay.
so
Because
disingenuous.
Messi is really
That
good.
is
So that's
disingenuous.
that's
Sorry.
what we're doing. This is what we're
I
doing.
see your little
What
smirk.
do you mean?
Okay,
What
so
do you mean?
okay, so
That
why is it not Real Madrid even though they've done something at Barcelona and not even come close to
Do
doing?
you know why? I want to see if Zidane can do it elsewhere. That's why. No, I'm joking.
Okay, so we know as much as you guys know that Barcelona are much said to be the best team of our generation, not only because of the amount of titles that they won, but the style in which
Okay.
they won them in.
So it also counts.
So what I'm saying in regards to Pele and the titles that he's won, and particularly for Brazil, is not only did he win more on an international level and club level than Maradona, it's also he done it as part of a side that played arguably the best football, or one of the best sides that have played football of our generation, if you're including Pep's Barcelona, if you're talking about the total football of Netherlands, if you're talking
Absolutely.
about Ajax, so on and so on.
Sorry to jump in. We're going to get the poll up. The Twitter poll is currently out there. We need your help. We need some retweets. We need you guys to cast your votes. Right now, 60% are in favour of Pele. Of course, leaving 40% currently on Diego Maradona. Let me ask you this, because you're backing Maradona. Do you think that sometimes he loses a level of the voting, especially in England?
Of course.
One, for the hand of God. And two, the one thing that Maradona definitely did that Pele didn't was get done for a bit of the old white powder. And that's not a libelous thing to say. It's absolutely fact. He was proven on it. He did a bit of the old, laughing gear. Do you know what I mean? So do you not think that we're gonna take a caller, but we'll come back to this question. Do you not think getting done for that and the cheat in the handball, do you not think that takes away from his legends slightly?
Are we taking a call first or not?
We'll take the call. We'll take the call first and we'll come back to that question. You and the viewers can think about it. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live Head to Head. What's your name?
Johan.
Johan, what's happening?
Nothing much, you right?
Yeah, cool. Tell us, whose side are you backing on this argument, my friend?
It's definitely half term.
Pele.
Pele, why? Tell us why, Pele.
He's an all-round good player, and he scored so many goals, and I think he's just a really good player.
Okay, and what's your thoughts on? Do you think he's head and shoulders in front of?
Robin, apple green.
I told you, it's half term.
Half term, straight
It's
away.
definitely half term.
I thought that.
Scream the callers better.
Yeah, exactly. He gave a little bit of a fair point. Let's go back to the question then. Let's go back to that question, Adam. Do you think it takes away from his legend? And we'll ask both of these questions. Does it take away from his legend the cheating, the clear handball, and the cocaine?
For me, no. And that is because I'm someone that thrives and loves a bit of controversy in life. I think when people do things that's a little bit edgy, a little bit funky, and somehow manage to get away with it, personally, I think that's great. We all seem to commend and applaud and laud these players that dive, which is cheating. But yet when it's...
I don't.
Yeah, you don't. And
What do I say? I say
big up
divers
you-
should
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
banned like
And
drug
big up you
cheats.
for that. But there's a lot of players that if it's what they're 2-1 down, and one of their players dives in a penalty box, 90th minute they get a penalty, everyone's quiet. There's radio silence. So I don't see why one set of cheating is okay, but the other set of cheating is really bad just because it goes against the team.
Can I follow up that point?
Hold on. Before you do, I also don't see how it can't be considered cheating as stat padding and literally making up your numbers to get a certain level of goals, which is what we know.
It's not like before Chris comes back. It's not so much stat padding. It's the fact that during the early stages, especially of Pele's career, statistics weren't kept as accurately. Now, so
you could say he scored.
No, they're accurate within reason.
He could.
They're accurate within reason.
But tell me, there's every chance that he could just have plucked a number from the sky.
No.
There's no chance he could have done
because
that, no?
people, because journalists remember watching him. So if he said I scored 70 goals, they'd be like, no, it was about 35. Like if he says 34 or 36, it's in and around the same number. You can't just say I scored 75 goals.
But you don't know, and neither do I. But
I do know.
You don't know.
I do know.
You don't know.
There's
you can have a.
We've got
really dog. I'm really doing this. Yo, listen. I hear the argument about like the whole goals thing. But let's use a bit of common sense. He can't just add a few hundred goals to his own record and for it to be legitimate. Bro. Can he boost his numbers with the goals he scored in his friendlies? To Terry's point, in terms of recording statistics, can that play a part in also what could be inaccuracies in the total amount of goals scored? Yes. Like we said, we could quite literally half the amount of goals he's on record to have scored, and he will still be top 10 goal scorers of all time.
That's fine.
Right?
That's really good.
So, back to the point, back to
Maradona.
Terry's question in regards to
Maradona,
Maradona and obviously all of the off-the-field stuff that may have affected his legacy. For me, it's not so much his legacy, because for me, legacy is more to do with your actual performance on the pitch. Where all of that may have taken away from is obviously his performance, which plays a part in his legacy. I.e., had he not been, you know, the party animal that he was, and had consumed as much drugs as he had done, and, you know, and so on and so on, then we may have had a fitter Maradona across a longer period of time, and that would have added
which he's accountable for, would you say?
Which, of course. Yeah. What I would say in regards to the whole thing about Maradona as a cheat, listen, I saw the tackles that Maradona was getting in that period. You can't tell me that this hand and the goal he scored versus England is even a fraction worse than multiple defenders over multiple teams over a multiple amount of years trying to injure a player. For me, that is far worse than any kind of offensive type of cheating, i.e. whether it be a hand of God or whether it be a dive. For me, hold on, what a player! Did you not see the tackle on him?
I might say slide tackling is cheating,
that, but I think
no. I didn't say tackling is cheating. Again, let's argue what I'm arguing. What I'm saying is what's more offensive and what's cheating is actually trying to injure a player.
Bruv, a tackle's a tackle.
Do you know what I would say about that? I don't disagree. I don't disagree with your point there. What I would say is that,
of course,
the Argentinians in that era, wow, they were ferocious in the way they played. Every country was doing it. The hand of God thing.
Of course. Yeah.
For me, when you cheat like how, again, I'm so dead set against cheaters. I think, you know, for me, whatever sport it's in, if you get done for drugs, this whole 3-month year ban, no, you're done for life. You're out.
Whoa.
No, drugs cheating. Drugs cheating, done. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we have a go at players in this country for their choice of tattoos, yet we forgive certain people for taking cocaine. Like, for me,
freestyling.
Do you know what I mean? Like, one of them things is actually illegal. The other one is a personal choice that we should have no condemnation for without knowing the reasons behind it. I'll just say that first of all, Piers Morgan, you twat. Anyway, we're going to take a call here. We've got somebody supporting your calls with Maradona.
Big up, man.
If Piers Morgan does want to call, feel free to come on, big man. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi, Terry. It's Safe.
Hello, Safe.
It's my stalker. You're backing Diego Maradona. Is that because you and him are the same height?
Blood, I'm not your stalker, Blood. Like, you shouldn't say this, Blood. I'm your friend, Blood.
There's too much blood going on. Like,
why are you saying blood for?
He's got 2 black guys on the screen.
That's true.
But you did. You were outside my work taking photographs. Fact.
I wasn't, Blood. I wasn't.
Why are you calling me blood for? Why are you calling me blood?
Because you're my legend. We are friends.
We're not friends. I don't know you. You stalk me.
This is getting all kinds of weird.
Okay.
Talk about Maradona, please, sir.
Yes. Maradona was one of the greatest players in the world.
Why?
Because the goal he scored against England, how he ran from the middle all the way to the goal, that was incredible.
Okay. Yes. What other reasons other than one amazing goal? What else? Why is he better than Pele? That's the question. What else has he done more to be better than Pele? One goal?
Okay.
Go on.
Well, in the 1940s, the World Cup, people were not that tight enough. Like, I mean, I could play in the 1940s, but the The football
You
was
could.
Yes,
physical
Saif.
enough.
Of course you could.
Safe. I've
Back
seen
yourself, bro.
I've seen your legs. There's not enough meat on there for you to play
1986,
football, young man.
In 1996, football was more physical. Like, yes, Maradona did cheat, but the journalists need to understand that football was played over 90 minutes.
It's always been
And
played over
during that
90 minutes. That's never changed, sir.
Oh, Jesus.
That was the same.
Yes, I know.
Stop.
That was
Quick with your head,
football
bro.
was always played over
Quick with
90
your head.
minutes. When did that change? When did the law change?
Let me explain. Football was played over 90 minutes. England did nothing during that 90 minutes. So one handball, they think Maradona cheated.
But he did.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes, he did cheat. I do understand he did cheat. I agree with you. But football is played 90 minutes.
Oh, he's saying
How
that they
many
had time to
chances
make
did
it.
Argentina take?
Ah,
And how many
okay.
chances did England take?
Oh no, of course. England could have scored goals. They could have.
Saif, that's a brilliant
Cool.
point. Yes.
Well done. Well
Yes,
done.
Saif.
Well done. I'll see you outside my place of work sometime
Keep taking
soon.
pictures, bro.
Enjoy the bushes.
Did he actually?
He did. He literally. I swear on my life, I got you know when someone like sends you like you get a request through on Twitter, and it was like, is this where you work? Right? And it was literally the front of my building, and it wasn't a picture he took off of Google. It was this, and I said, "Where are you?" He says, "I just went past on the bus." Right? And then literally every few days he's like, "I'm by your work. Can we have a cup of tea, please?" And I was like getting a little freaked out. And then I saw a picture of him, and he was only this big, and I was like, "All right, it's cool. Like literally, my cat could beat him up. It's fine." But I was a little freaked out by that.
You lot done lost your mind.
And then every time I blocked him, he had a new Twitter account, and he come back again. And then my brother said follow him, and I followed him one day. And every day he tweeted me, and it was some
I'm
serious
telling
stuff.
you, like, listen, I don't think anyone will be crazy enough to do so. If you find out where I work and I catch you outside, it's gonna be a very, very different reaction. You're
How
a
about
good
that?
guy.
I just laugh. Yeah,
You're
I
a
laugh.
very different guy.
Yeah, the only time, yeah, it's weird. I've had a few people do it as well. I was with my son once as well, and some guy wouldn't leave us alone. It was like, mate, I'm with my boy. Like, he was time. He's only 2. Yeah. No, we won't go off topic. This is YouTube.
Pele,
baby.
Maradona.
Yeah,
Pele,
anyway.
It's probably death by association that he's backing my point, though, isn't it?
Right, yeah. So yeah, you're the stalker's friend.
And
So
me and
let's
Saif, we got
end this now. Let's end this now. Your final points, a minute each. You can either rebuttal each other, or you can make your final stance as to why your man deserves to win. Adam, I'll let you go first because you are fighting a losing battle here.
Yeah, obviously, because the panel's biased again. Anyway, so as I said, Maradona, he scored the greatest goal that the World Cup has ever seen. He literally dragged Argentina to the World Cup win, and that's something that Pele could not do, will never do, and that is because he played in a team that was so much better. He also picks stats out of the air, claims that he scored a certain amount of goals, and because there's some journalists that verify it somewhere, that means that he's done it. If you half the goals, yeah, he might be in the top whatever goal scorers of all time, but he ain't touching flipping Diego Maradona. Hand of God, bad boy.
Cool.
I mean,
Pele, I mean, statistically, there is nothing to suggest that Maradona is superior than Pele, whether it be individual stats or club stats or international stats. In terms of style of play, well, I mean, again, neither of us watched him with great length, but from what I've seen of Pele, athletically was out of this world, technically was out of this
You
world.
sound like Graham Souness. Pace and power.
Pace and power.
That's what that sounds like. Pace and power.
Pace and power.
Yeah.
PMP all day, baby. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, technically, he was out of this world.
girls love it.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
What?
Had a longer period of domination, so you could say that he literally was at a world class stage from the age of 17 up until up until his 30s, and the only reason that he didn't perform at like the 62 World Cup and the 66 World Cup wasn't due to ability, wasn't due to form, purely was down to the fact that it was injured, as opposed to Maradona's peak, which is 2 very, very specific points: mid 80s, late 80s to early 90s at Napoli. So longer period of domination, more titles, more goals, more assists, and that for me has a greater legacy across the world and the game of football than Maradona was.
That's not true.
Because Maradona's legacy, whilst obviously he's considered like top 3 players of all time, if not top 2, isn't anywhere near as strong to his legacy in Argentina, as opposed to Pele, who is a worldwide icon.
That's
who's
ridiculous.
heralded.
You can't mention Pele without mentioning Maradona. What are you talking about?
You can. And
course you
secondly, listen to what I'm saying again. Maradona is seen as top 2 ever. So I'm not taking that away from him. Okay. But what I'm saying to you is that he's only really worshipped in Argentina. Whilst with Pele is worshipped in Africa, in South America, in North America, in Europe, across the world. So ultimately, when you think about what Pele's done on the pitch and off the pitch. His legacy, his performances, and his statistics dominate
Tell
that
me,
of Maradona's.
one Iranian call in and tell me that you love Pele more
One
than
Iranian.
Maradona.
Listen,
do that, and then I'll believe what this guy is saying.
Fair enough.
Listen, we are going to go to some of the videos that have been sent in by some of our collaborators and YouTube influencers from the Ultimate Football Fan. Enjoy it, and we'll be back in a few moments.
This is difficult, you know. This is very difficult, bruv. But I'm gonna go for the one that had a shape up like me, bruv. Man like Pele, bruv. You know, like that, bruv. I'm true say I'm trying to go Brazil, so hopefully if he's there, bruv, me and him could get a photo, bruv. Watch this in.
Pele. I think Pele has that cleaner image. I think that's why I went for him. But I think Pele, there's all the talk of all the goals he scored. There's obviously he won the World Cups. You know, he is a player which is superb. However, the one thing against him you can say is that he didn't challenge himself in Europe, whereas Maradona did. Became a god in Napoli. Was a decent player at Barcelona. But I think just because the World Cups and who he is, Pele.
I'm gonna go Pele. I can't say Maradona, can I? Well, yeah. No, after 86. No. I suppose it would be Maradona. Again, he would be a handful. Pele, great player. I don't know, probably better with his head than Maradona, who was quite small.
This is tough. As far as achievements goes, I would say Pele, based on what he did as a 17-year-old and what he did when he was 29. But when I think of football, the passion, the individuality, the emotions, it's Maradona. I think for me, Maradona represents more of football than what Pele did. But I just think Pele is greater for his achievements. So I'm going to leave you with that.
Hi! Jesus. Hi! What do I say now? God. Hand of God versus I don't know. Can I skip it? No. Hi. Maradona.
Hello and welcome back to FanPark Live. Jay's going to put the current poll situation up for us. I'm going to get that up now. By the way, make sure my phone's unlinked. That's my fault. I turned it off because I had to send a text message. Last time I did that, some man got calls all night. So there we go. There is the Ultimate Football Fan Twitter page. Make sure you go and follow that. Let's take a little look at this poll. 975 votes on it now. 59% in favour of the great one, Pele.
You know what? Like you said yesterday, I took it down by 1%, so it's all good. I'm happy.
You took it down by 1%?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm happy, yeah. Maradona there on 41%. Let's see some of the comments are on there. Maradona played against actual footballers, not rice farmers. That's such a...
Hey!
Hang on. That's
corn and maize.
I don't think do they grow rice in Brazil?
Love that.
I didn't know they grew rice in Brazil.
Yeah, that's racist, but it's like inaccurate racism as well.
That's the worst kind of racism.
You know,
it's racism that is not even true. Like there's nothing. Let's
expose this guy, Jake Roberts. Let's put him up on the internet. See who he is.
Jake,
big
Roberts up you, bro.
Look at him.
Rice farm.
Look at him. Look, yes, I can.
Now get off.
He posted this on Twitter. It's public. It's public. Look at him. Honestly, look at that pig nose.
Yeah, the game is the game, B.
Jesus. Hang on, he's posted it on the internet. It's public property. Yeah, we're on the
Chill.
Hang on.
Terry's trying to mash up the bag, bro. Don't mess up the bag. Don't mess
No,
up the bag.
I just-
Don't mess up the bag. Don't mess up the bag.
No, I'm not. I just
Hey.
anyway.
Go.
I'll leave. Yeah, there we go. Cool.
Jake, what you need to do is you need to get a history book, wink, wink, and then look at where rice is grown. Rice isn't grown in Brazil.
Hang on, I need to Google this. Is
rice grown
Is rice
in Brazil?
grown?
Jake Roberts has got us doing all kinds of Googling right now.
Yeah, but this is huge. Hang on. Oh. Hang on, there's something called Ricepedia. Hang on, it might be how rice is farmed in Brazil.
Fair enough.
Big up you, bro.
Big up Jake Roberts.
Done.
I've never seen that in the shop though. I've never literally seen Brazilian rice. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's just rice, isn't it?
No, but
on the bottom it probably says produced in Brazil.
Jake must know something that we don't.
Agriculture in Brazil. Man, he's so smart with that pig nose and blonde hair.
I love you, Jake.
It's true. They grow rice in Brazil.
Why is that such a shock to you?
Because I never thought about it.
No one talks about like Brazil importing rice.
No, you don't. That's what I mean. You think of China.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely
Yeah,
think of China. You think of India. I think India makes rice.
But let's stop this. But at the same time, Jake looks 14 years old. Like, what do you?
I think he guessed.
I want to know.
Yeah, he got lucky.
He's still being offensive though. Let's not get away from the fact that he's calling them rice farmers.
We're giving him way too much airtime. What I'm saying is, all right, what do you know what the competition was like? And not just him. People in general, when they talk about Pele and his achievements, it's like Santos beat everyone. It's not like now where a Brazilian team could dominate in Brazil. And then whoever wins the Champions League will go over.
The Europeans tell you that the competition was far lower though.
No, it doesn't. No, because Santos would beat everyone over there. When in those days, right now, all the top Argentinians, Brazilians, Chileans, they all play in Europe. In those days, nobody did. In fact, it was frowned upon. If you were Brazilian and you were very good and you left and went and played in Europe, you didn't even make.
So you're telling me that one team that won 10 league titles doesn't mean that the league is
no. The point I was told the point we're trying to make. Listen.
No, we didn't.
Just to give you a parallel, Bayern Munich will dominate in Germany.
Yes.
Right. When it comes to Europe, they may not win like the Champions League all the time, but they'll beat most teams in Europe. Right. So it isn't like their domination in Germany doesn't necessarily mean that they can't do it against big teams in Europe, because obviously they can. It's the same thing with Santos. As much as they dominated in Brazil, whenever they'd face sides in Europe in the little kind of intercontinental tournaments and whatnot,
and friendly,
they beat them.
And the World Club Championships.
And they beat them. Regularly. No, but okay, even if you were to take purely the competitive games, which existed back then, they'd beat them regularly. And also, Pele, the sides that he'd play in, listen, international football was probably stronger in that era than it is now.
Let's end the show.
Oh, it's not?
Let's end the show.
You want to end the show? Who are we going to pick as a winner tonight? Look, for me, I cannot look beyond Pele. I'm sorry. Pele wins. Chris wins the debate tonight. Comment of the day has to go to Jake. A lot of people here. Someone here says, this is Carlos. Carlos Pio says Jake knows his shit.
Yeah,
and he
Jake,
does.
Yeah,
Jake,
shout out to Jake.
On the rice. But you know what I'm saying about that? But like the thing, he's gone. Like the man's got a hole in his sock as well. He walked off. You going to show him your sock?
Never.
Show the audience your sock.
No, don't do that. Don't mess up the bag. Don't mess up the bag. Don't mess up the bag.
But this is the thing, the whole the rice farmer comment. You see this right now. Liverpool are about to sign probably Nabil Fekir, who's smashed it up in the French leagues. Everyone who's a Liverpool fan is praising him and bigging him up. He's a very good player. He'll do very well at the World Cup. But you'll get rival fans that's like, well, he's only done it against farmers in France. But when Arsenal fans are saying that, but when they sign Lacazette, he's the Don. When Man United signed Ibrahimovic, it was the whole same thing. People do what Jake did to try and play down a player by coming out with nonsense. But the Brazilian league in those days was absolutely top level.
It was a strong league.
Just do some research on it. We did before we did the show, because again, we weren't from that era. But listen, thank you all for tuning in. Longer than normal. The production team were like, "Can we go home, please?" No, just keep streaming. I'm going to go for another hour. No,
by yourself.
I often have to do that. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. God bless. See you tomorrow night, 10:30, when we are debating Ronaldo versus Messi. I think this one could be even longer and even more heated,
I'm
to be honest.
going to be in for that one.
Who you picking?
I ain't telling no one. I ain't telling no one.
It's Ronaldo. It has to be. Okay.
Take care. God bless. Good night, everyone.
Peace.